characters, like this guy, right? I don't know.
Yeah, that's not actually a person. That's just.
It's just chilling.
Oh,
it's not a person
that's
as
like
much as I wish it were.
Mayul, did you join it?
Welcome.
No, did you join the server? Hi guys. Click on the server and find the playground.
Welcome to here.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're diving into a project I've been crafting in massive loop, a horror-themed Christmas world called Xmas Torment. I'll first explain what exactly this world is and how it functions, then dive into the mechanics in their creation. Let's dive right in. This game, which I'm thrilled to share, draws inspiration from iconic horror games like Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Dead by Daylight, with a particular focus on Friday the 13th. For those unfamiliar, Friday the 13th is a game where you play as Jason, aiming to brutally eliminate everyone else before they escape, with a strong emphasis on brutality. In my world, Xmas Torment. Santa Claus is dead, murdered by his wife, Mrs. Claus, who has been possessed by an evil spirit. This spirit compelled her to kill her beloved husband, Mr. Claus, and the other inhabitants of Santa Clausville. Dark, yes, but it adds to the thrill. I've merged mechanics from all three games into one. The game design closely follows that of Friday the 13th. One player on the map takes on the role of the antagonist, Mrs. Claus, with the grisly task of eliminating all their friends on the map before they escape. The players are divided into two teams, the Stalker and the Survivors. The player embodying Mrs. Claus is on the Stalker team, while everyone else is on the Survivor team. Each team possesses unique skills, creating a dynamic gameplay experience. The Stalker's win condition is straightforward. Eliminate all survivors on the map before they escape using skills and a massive bloody blade. For the Survivors, their goal involves finding crates scattered across the map. These crates might contain key items needed to operate generators randomly placed around the map. The Survivors' win condition revolves around these generators. To escape, they must power up these generators spread across the map. Once all generators are active, the main gate opens, allowing the survivors to escape. In the Survivor player's HUD, there are two main skills. A cell phone, doubling as a flashlight, counters for the number of stations and players, and areas showing the player's health and stamina. There's also a unique indicator above the health bar showing whether you're standing, walking, or sprinting. To use the flashlight, you grab the cell phone using the grab button, then toggle the flashlight on or off with the trigger button. Once turned on, you can release the cell phone, and it repositions itself like a holster. For movement, use the left thumbstick to walk in any direction. To sprint, press down on the left thumbstick. Be cautious while sprinting, as it reveals your location to the Stalker with an on-screen indicator. It's crucial to balance walking and running to avoid detection. The healing skill instantly restores your HP to 100% regardless of the damage taken. The Silent Run skill not only refills your stamina to 100%, but also boosts your running speed and silences your footsteps, making it harder for the Stalker to hear you. Both skills are key for survival and must be used wisely. Another survival feature is the heartbeat sound. It slows down or stops when the Stalker is far away and quickens as they get closer. This change is gradual, helping you gauge the Stalker's proximity. Additionally, intense music plays when the Stalker is dangerously close, signaling you to be extra cautious. Lastly, the HUD has two indicators at the top. The left one shows the number of electrical stations in the game, and the right one displays the current number of live players. When a station is activated, the left indicator increases by 1, and when a player dies, the right indicator decreases by 1. The Stalker's HUD in the game features two skills, a central flashlight button, and the blood blade icon beneath it. On the left, there's an indicator for electrical stations, and on the right, one for the player count. Unlike Survivors, the Stalker doesn't have health or stamina indicators, as it's essentially immortal. When the game starts, Stalkers can easily activate their flashlight by pressing the button in front of them. The flashlight is linked to their head camera, so moving their head will direct the light. The Stalker's first skill is invisibility. As expected, it renders the Stalker invisible, aiding in surprising survivors. However, survivors can still detect the stalker's presence through the heartbeat and intense music cues. A telltale sign of the invisible stalker is the trail of bloody footprints it leaves, which survivors can use to track its location. The second skill, the organic trap, allows the stalker to set a trap that activates a sound indicator when a survivor steps on it, revealing their location. This trap also displays a trapped indicator to the survivor and immobilizes them for 10 seconds. These traps remain active until triggered and cannot be removed. Finally, the Blood Blade is the stalker's primary weapon. Each hit inflicts 30 damage to a survivor. To balance the gameplay, there's a 3-second cooldown after each strike, giving survivors a brief window to escape and preventing the stalker from being too powerful. In the game, survivors must locate crates scattered randomly across the map to escape. There are about 40 crates in total, but not all of them contain levers. The number of levers available corresponds to the number of electrical stations spawned on the map. To break a crate, a survivor has two options. They can either run into it or pick it up and drop it. This action is exclusive to survivors. Only they can pick up or break the crates in these ways. However, the stalkers have their own interaction with the crates. Although they cannot pick up or break the crates by running into them, they can pick up the levers after a crate has been broken. Therefore, survivors must act quickly to grab the lever from a broken crate before a stalker does. This adds a strategic element to the game, where survivors need to balance the urgency of obtaining levers with the risk of being caught by stalkers. After collecting levers from the crates, survivors must take them to the electrical stations. Initially, these stations are marked as disabled because they are not yet activated. To activate a station, a survivor needs to insert the lever into a designated slot on the right side of the station. This process is interactive. You'll see the lever leave your hand and fit into the station. However, simply placing the lever isn't enough to activate the station. Next, survivors must interact with a series of buttons on the right side of the station. These buttons need to be switched to the own position. After setting all the right side buttons correctly, the final step is to grab the lever and push it upward. This action activates the station. Upon successful activation, the station's status changes from red to green. Both the stations and their locations are randomly generated across the map, adding an element of unpredictability to the game. Furthermore, the number of stations generated correlates with the number of players in the game, scaling the challenge according to the size of the player group. Once all the electrical stations on the map are activated, the main gate will open. You can easily locate the main gate, as it will have a special icon indicating it's the main exit. It will also be the only brightly lit area on the map, making it stand out in the darkness. After the main gate is open, all survivors need to do is run through it. Once they pass through the gate, they will be teleported back to the spawn point. This is the final step for survivors to complete their escape and finish the game successfully. In the game's backend, the process begins when players step onto a portal, which has a built-in collider to detect player presence. The game requires a minimum of 2 players to start. Once this criterion is met, a 22-second countdown is triggered, giving additional players time to enter the portal and join the game. As the countdown concludes, the game manager takes action, teleporting all players within the portal to randomly selected player spawn points, scattered across the map. Following this initial setup, the game manager randomly selects one of the teleported players to assume the role of the stalker. The chosen stalker is then strategically positioned at the center of the map, a tip that players can use to anticipate the stalker's initial location. Next, the game manager brings in dynamic elements to the gameplay. It spawns 40 crates at random locations across the map and also places a variable number of electrical stations, with the quantity depending on the current player count. To add a level of challenge, not all crates contain the levers necessary for gameplay. This number is matched to the number of electrical stations. Players, therefore, have to search and interact with these crates to find the levers. Once the environment is set, the game manager assigns specific HUDs, heads-up displays, to the players, survivor HUDs for survivors, and a stalker HUD for the stalker. An important aspect of the horror game experience is the sound design. Each survivor HUD is equipped with a heartbeat script, which plays a crucial role in creating a suspenseful atmosphere. This script actively tracks the stalker's position relative to each survivor. The heartbeat sound is triggered when the stalker is within a 100-meter range of a survivor, starting slow and intensifying as the stalker gets closer. When the stalker is within a dangerously close range of 30 meters, intense music is triggered, alerting the survivor to the imminent threat. For interaction with the crates, there's a script attached to each that monitors for collisions and the force of impact. When a crate collides with sufficient force, it breaks, revealing its contents. If the crate is one of those selected to contain a lever, the script then generates this lever at the crate's location. This mechanism adds an element of surprise and urgency, as players must quickly locate and interact with the crates to progress in the game. The electrical stations, initially set to a disabled state, come into play when a lever is involved. Each station has a lever housing with a collider and script that detects when a lever is inserted. This script releases the lever from the player's grasp and activates it. To fully activate a station, players need to engage with a series of buttons, turning them on, which is visually indicated by a color change to green. The culmination of these interactions is crucial for the final game mechanic, the main gate. The gate state is contingent on the activation of all the electrical stations. Once every station is activated, the gate transitions from a closed to an open state and a trigger is placed behind it. This trigger is programmed to differentiate between players, teleporting survivors to the lobby area while having no effect on the stalker. This final mechanic not only serves as the endpoint of the game, but also adds a layer of strategy and urgency as players work to activate the stations and escape before being caught by the stalker. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a like. Your likes really support the channel. And if you didn't, feel free to leave a comment explaining why. I value all feedback as it helps me improve and provide more of what you want to see. Thank you all for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Remember, your engagement is what keeps this channel going, so keep the comments and likes coming.